We're now joined by industrialist and former member of parliament, in fact someone who's contesting on a BJP ticket from the Kurukshetra constituency in Haryana. Mr. Naveen Jindal is joining us on the show this evening. Thank you so much, sir, for speaking to us. You filed your nomination and you're contesting these elections from the Kurukshetra seat. Your priorities, Mr. Jindal, and what are you going to the people with in terms of issues and expectations in this election?
Okay, so first of all, not every time that you go with some issues or with some expectations. Okay, so people over here, they know me for 3 decades and they trust me, they trust our family. Okay, and in last 10 years, BJP has done a very good job over here. So people know me, I know them, and different areas. There are more than 900 villages. So there's no one thing that's going to do it all. So in 900 villages, there are different issues, different things need to be done, and so I'm going to work for the people. And obviously, Kurukshetra is a world-renowned place. This is where Lord Krishna gave the sermon of Gita. So there are a lot of things, a lot of projects that are already underway. We need to complete those projects to develop Kurukshetra as a prime tourist destination for religious and spiritual tourism. So and there are lots of other things, but especially something which is very close to my heart is to open a world-class vocational training institute over here. In fact, 2 of them, so that more than 10,000 students we can train every year. And we want to create this institute as India's #1 vocational training institute, so that we can really skill people, skill the youth. And then for skilled youth, there are no dearth of opportunities in India or even abroad.
Right. Now, you have represented that seat twice between 2004 and 2014. However, the BJP has been successful in the last 2 elections over the last 10 years. Are you confident that there is no anti-incumbency against you? What are the factors that you suppose will work in your favor in this poll?
So I'm absolutely confident that there is no anti-incumbency against me, because I have not been here for last 10 years. And we are getting tremendous response from the people. Wherever we go, people are very excited. We're getting a lot of support from the people. So from whatever experience I have, and I have plenty of, we fought like 13, 14 elections in our family very closely. So you can tell that people are giving their support to us, and people are very happy with the BJP, especially with the leadership of Mr. Modi, and what historic steps Mr. Modi has taken in the last 10 years. People really respect him for that.
Right. Mr. Jindal, you're not the only leader. In the recent past, we've seen other leaders and senior leaders of the Congress party leave the party and cross over to the BJP. We have former Chief Minister Ashok Chavan, for instance, former Member of Parliament Milind Deora is there. We have seen spokesperson Gaurav Ballabh. To just cite a few examples, what do you think is the reason for all of these departures within the Congress party? And there are many who have sought reforms within the party itself at different levels. What is your view on this?
Okay, so different people may have different reasons for leaving the Congress, and there's a saying that people don't leave the company; they leave their bosses. So the same thing in a party also. People don't leave the party, but they get fed up with certain things or certain people in the party, and then they leave the party.
Right, because after you joined the BJP, you would have seen the comments coming in from Congress General Secretary Jairam. Ramesh, he took a dig alleging that you have made 0 contribution to the party in last 10 years, quote unquote. How would you perceive such comments?
So I don't want to reply to that. I mean, for me, he talks a lot of nonsense a lot of times, and he is the kind of a person that I was referring to, that people get fed up of people like him who have a negative approach. Otherwise, he did not make this comment earlier. Now, when I left the party, after that to say this I think is very unfair, because if somebody was working for Times Now and that person leaves after working for 10 years in Times Now, I'm sure, you would thank the person for, for his or her contribution to Times Now, and you would wish them well for the future. But Mr. Jairam Ramesh does not have that much sense to appreciate somebody's efforts and to wish them well for the future.
Right. And one of the charges that you've seen opposition parties, including the Congress and other parties, repeat, and in this case, Mr. Jairam has also repeated this charge of a quote-unquote washing machine, and he has alleged to different investigations that could have perhaps led to this role, where the exact quote is, when you need a giant-sized washing machine, this had to happen. How would you react to this? And is there any merit in the argument that is being made here by the Congress?
No, it's very funny that they say this. So I don't want to start talking about them as to what they do and all these things. So it's been like I've not been active in politics for the last 10 years. So if there was something like this, the case that he's referring to was done 2013, 11 years ago. So I would not wait 11 years. Okay, in the case also, we have complete trust in the judiciary of the country, and I'm sure the truth will prevail. So it's people like Mr. Jairam Ramesh making such comments. That means they do not have faith in the judiciary. Okay, and if something is already in the court, or so in my case, or many of these cases, after the investigating agencies, they go to the court. Whether they would go to the High Court or the lower court or the Supreme Court. So we have to have trust in the judiciary that the truth will prevail.
Right, right. So we're seeing a very interesting situation coming in where there's been a lot of suspense, over Amethi, Raebareli, which have been bastions of the Gandhi family for decades now. But till the last minute, tomorrow's the last date as far as nominations are concerned. A lot of uncertainty over who really will be the face of the party. What would you say, and what would you attribute to this kind of last minute, down to the wire sort of a situation over here? Is it indecisiveness? Is it a lack of clarity? Is it a lack of willingness to lead? What would you identify as the single biggest issue that, is the reason for such situations to come out?
Okay, so I can't speak for them. You must ask this question to the people who have to decide.
But sir, you have long experience within the party. I'm sure you said that there are persons that you are fed up with, etc. But within the party itself, having spent so much of time, I'm sure you talk to others as well. What's the general sense that you get?
So general sense is, I'm not even aware of all these things. Neither do I, bother so much about, who's going to be contesting from these places. But I do suggest that people like party must get people like Mr. Jairam Ramesh to contest, and he will know what value does he have in the minds of people. So if he has some credibility, he must contest the election and see. I don't think he can win any panchayat election also.
Because the kind of issues that we've seen picked up in this election, income redistribution, for instance, and you're an industrialist, would you think that these are very practical things, that these are implementable at all? We've seen, of course, the Prime Minister and other BJP leaders lash out at that suggestion. But do you think this is something that is practical to implement?
Okay, I did hear about that they want to bring about an inheritance tax.
Yes.
Inheritance tax, that if some person, he saves all his life, he wants to give it to his children, his or her children, and then the government wants to take away 55% of it. So that's something like that in India. That's not the culture, and so I feel again this is a narrow-mindedness approach. Why don't create wealth? So there's nothing about creation of wealth. There's nothing about setting up more industries, creating of more wealth, creating more entrepreneurs, helping youngsters to be entrepreneurs, but to talk about redistribution, that people who have already created, who are the wealth creators in the country, to take away their wealth and to distribute it. So it's like I don't know, it makes no sense, and I think people are going to reject such ideas.
Right. So let me also ask you a few questions about Haryana because you're representing that particular state. Recently, we've seen a change of guard at the helm of affairs there in Haryana. Do you think that that is going to make an impact also in terms of the various communities that would be represented with this change? How do you see this impacting on ground in terms of the various caste and other combinations?
Okay, so Mr. Nayab Singh Saini, he used to be Member of Parliament from Kurukshetra parliamentary constituency, and now he has become the Chief Minister. So he is young, he is very popular, and so people have taken it really, really well. And he's only 53 years old. So people are very excited about this, and he is somebody who has been. He is not from a very big family or a political family. So he was like a normal, worker of the party, and then he has risen. He has risen very fast through his hard work, and dedication to the party and to the people of Haryana. So that has gone really well in the minds of people.
But let me also ask you, given that your constituency is dominated majorly by the Jat community, it's been reported that there are issues over there, particularly given the fact that there have been farm protests in the recent past. How do you see that impacting on ground?
So it's all talk. So I can tell you that most of the Jats are supporting the BJP. Most of the Jats, wherever I go, I get tremendous support from them. Okay, and there are no protests over here. It's just like if I've gone to say 300 places so far, if one odd place, if there are few people, they are protesting. I went and met them. I spoke to them. In a democracy, it is their right. If they want to protest, they are welcome to protest. I went and I heard them out, and I said, okay, I'll try whatever your demands are. I will take up your demands.
Mr. Naveen Jindal, thank you so much for speaking to us here at Times Now, and certainly wish you all the best in days ahead for this election.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.